All right, welcome back to another edition of Ask Glazer with Jay Glazer. Jay, week 14. How do we get all the
How
way
do
to
we
the
get
holidays,
here?
man?
Feels good though, doesn't it?
I'm liking the suit.
You like that?
What color are we calling
It
this?
is the Michael Strahan collection because I got to give my guy some love. I would say this is kind of gangsta purple.
That it absolutely
Right?
is. Best dress crew on NFL TV. Let's get to your questions for the week. As soon as I saw this one, being an LSU alum, I knew we had to ask it. Jayden Daniels, the now reigning Heisman Trophy winner. Do you think he played his way into being a top 10 pick in the draft?
Well, I don't know top 10 pick yet, but did he play himself into the first round? Yes. Where in the first round? I don't know yet because once teams get to sit down with him and really pick him apart, that's when you'll realize where he goes. Usually guys, though, quarterbacks, once teams do get to pick you apart, they start to slide up more than down. So listen, he used the system. One executive told me last night, used the system perfectly. He used a transfer portal, went somewhere else that was going to develop him better as a quarterback, got time to add some muscle to his frame, weight to his frame, and really improved in a lot of different areas. Not just, used to just be, okay, first read, it's not there, let me take off with my legs, and that's just not the same guy anymore. So there's a lot to look at and love. So I think as you start looking at it, I think you're looking at top 10, top 15. As they start falling more and more in love with these quarterbacks, I think he'll start moving up a lot. But again, if it was a year ago, you're probably looking at day 2, day 3 quarterback. So he used the system perfectly, and good for him to work his butt off to improve as much as he did.
It's such a cool story. Yeah. I mean, he was a solid player last year, but probably, like you said, maybe
solid, but not Heisman.
Exactly.
Right.
And now I absolutely think we're talking about it.
And actually, as one executive told me yesterday too, he deserves it. Like all the good things are about to happen, like this and everything else, he deserves it, which you like to hear. Like as in, he worked for it, so he deserves all the good stuff that's about to happen.
I'm really excited to see how the process goes for him. All right. Tough times coming off of that loss to New England in Pittsburgh. 2 back-to-back losses to 10-loss teams for the Pittsburgh Steelers. As much as he's accomplished, I don't like asking it, but do you feel like Mike Tomlin might be on a hot seat if this season keeps going the way it is?
I think Mike Tomlin's on the hot seat almost every year there, and he's never had a losing season. If Mike Tomlin was available, there would be teams probably willing to get rid of their own head coach to bring in a Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is, when you talk to other head coaches in this league, he is like the guy. He is grandpapa. He is the one they all look up to. And he has done an incredible job over the years. I mean, to never have a losing season,
it's incredible.
Absolutely ridiculous.
It's the best streak going in pro football, in my opinion.
And he doesn't have an ego when it comes to personnel. It's like, hey, whoever we got, hey, we're going to go with him. And you could see how much he obviously keeps inside that locker room there. But I'm telling you, if Mike Tomlin was available, there would be teams lining up. Even if he's not available yet, teams should be try to trade for Mike Tomlin.
You guys,
like Washington. Hey, Washington. Yeah. He's from Virginia. Like, perfect. Like, I'm at least giving it a shot. I'm trying for it. If you want a guy like, I mean, if they decide to move on from Ron Rivera, like, man, you got to swing away for a guy like that. If you could be, if it's on the hot seat, swing away. Mike Tomlin is, he is, like I said, amongst his peers, he is the guy.
Okay, well, let's keep it same side of that matchup, kind of surreal. As much as Mike Tomlin and Bill Belichick have both accomplished in this league, I think they are at the top of the hot seat speculation. Where do you see this? Obviously, the Patriots get a win, not a inspiring season by any stretch in New England. So where do you see that going? I mean, there's going to be speculation about this for the rest of the year. Where do you see it going with Bill Belichick?
So 2 totally different guys, right? And like Mike Tomlin loves these guys up. Right, always has, right? He's not a guy, when you look at the Patriots way, it's always been kind of out of secrecy and a lot out of fear and kind of beating guys down. And that way just doesn't work anymore. You can't do that. And as I was talking to a head coach the other day, and I said, man, these guys get beaten down so much on this phone. They get beaten down so much. The last thing they want is to get beaten down by their father figure or their uncle or older brother figure that's now in their locker room. So that's why guys like Dan Campbell and D'Amico Ryans and Mike McDaniels, those kind of guys are working so much more now and so much better than that old school Patriots way used to work. So I just think, if Belichick does go somewhere else, if I'm him, I give someone else personnel control because they haven't made great personnel moves. But he's still, look, he's the greatest coach of all time. There's no doubt about that. Greatest who's ever done it. But I think that style, that Patriots way style, just doesn't really equate to today's players the way it used to.
Wherever that goes, you got to feel like some kind of, like you mentioned, personnel control. You got to imagine something changes there regardless.
I don't know that. If he may say, no, I want to make sure I got my own groceries to cook with.
I'd be curious to see what that leads to then.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
You can't doubt the resume though. All right, we keep getting questions about this guy. Obviously, a Pro Bowl player over the course of his career. Do you have any kind of update on Zack Ertz after leaving?
Yeah, we do keep getting question week after week about Zack Ertz. Here's the thing.
Every week we get a bunch of these.
And the reason why he probably isn't anywhere yet is not a position of need. Right, if we're talking about an offensive lineman, he would have been scooped up in second. If we're talking about a rush end, scooped up in a second. DB, but tight end's just not a position of need. So I think more than anything, teams are looking at if somebody goes down, then they're going to make a run at Zack Ertz, but it's just not a position of need.
This is the topic of the week, I think, and rightfully so with the season that he's having. But Tyreek Hill, we're in the thick of the Tyreek Hill MVP conversation. If we assume if he doesn't fall off, do you think it's realistic to think that a wide receiver wins NFL MVP?
I don't. It'd just be so out of the norm. And
big time. Yeah.
That's why I think, what Tua is over there. I think Tyreek would even say it's Tua over him. But might you look at him as offensive player of the year? Absolutely.
Sure.
But as far as the MVP, I guess I don't know if I'm any school of it has to be a quarterback. I don't think it has to be a quarterback per se. Because I do think like Christian McCaffrey should be strongly in that mix as well. But a receiver is a little bit probably harder for me to get my head around. But a receiver is not hard to get your head around for offensive player of the year.
Yeah, that's one of those seeing is believing things. Yeah. Like I'm not going to rule it out, but I kind of need to hear his name get called to believe that it would happen.
Absolutely.
The way that this award.
But what he's done this year is
it's incredible,
ridiculous.
He's got an outside shot to hit 2,000 in 16 games.
And,
like
he's getting the ball, yet he's still open deep. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
If it were to happen,
he is a ridiculous weapon in this league. There's nothing like him.
Mike McDaniel said he's on the short list of non-quarterbacks that you do whatever it takes.
Yeah, he's one of one. Yep.
Don't think the Dolphins regret it. Jay, as always, we appreciate the time,
Thank you, brother.
Man.
Appreciate it.
You.
Thanks for the suit shout out.